figure out where it's actually. Well, actually, what it's doing is on the make game contents. It's just taking the game actors global variable and just throwing it into a variable that it's this actors thing for this contents file. What we want it, so what we do then is we just overwrite this with whatever we're pulling in from our var weapons down here, which actually shouldn't be. What should we call it? Not var weapons. We'll figure out what to call it later. That's what it's called for now. But we'll just overwrite it with what's there in that var weps / whatever in the future contents object. So let's just run this through with this here and see what comes out, and then we'll see where we need to do any work at. It should pretty much be exactly the same, with just the added elements of having the actor ID and the slot ID. Everything else should be the same. Alright, so let's go ahead and equip Herald with this katana. And save. Okay, it didn't crash or anything, I don't think. So let's see what's in the save file. Underneath actor weapons. So now, well, actually all of these would have them, wouldn't it? So let's see if the traits is in here. Traits is in here. We have 3. We have values here. Good. Actually, that's very good. That means it's gonna work. This should have nothing in it because those are fine. I'm more interested in the level bonuses for the one Herald has, since that has the actual tag on it. That's indicating. Good. Everything is still here. Good. 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 Traits. Good. Alright. So now, actor ID is 1, which is right. And then slot ID should be 0 because we are just hard-coding that in for now. We'll have to do something different with that once we handle the dual-wielding use case. Because at that point, it could be slot 0 or slot 1. But by default, you can only equip a weapon onto the weapon slot, not the shield slot, so it's only going to handle 0 for now, for testing purposes. And maybe that might be a, well, No, if you can dual wield, it should handle dual wielded weapons too. Yeah. So that's good. So that'll help. This looks all correct. So now the loading. So now we're gonna do all of that crap in reverse, and we gotta put it into the proper format that it expects it to have inside of the game. So saving is done now. Now loading. We can go and get rid of this stuff. We don't need it. Whoa. Wrong button. Okay, so process load contents. So I was just hoping we could do this. No, we can't do that. We'll have to build a game instance weapon, and then let's see if we need to do a just new one without anything in it, without processing it, passing anything into there. Can we do 2 constructors? This is something I don't know about. I mean, in like C++ and Java and C# you can do that. But can you do 2 constructors or initializers at the same time with different parameter lists, argument lists, and not have it freak out? Well, let's find out. Game instance weapon dot prototype dot initialize and then we'll just call init members. And we said members again. Actually, it's called members. What the hell? Awesome. I called it members. on this one by accident. Crap. Okay. So now if we load this up. Okay, it didn't freak out. But it is actually hanging. Well, that's interesting. So, oh, it is definitely hanging. Yep. So why would that cause it to hang? Because it can't determine which one to use. Because it sees them both as the same thing. Because JavaScript is stupid and can't tell that one constructor is different from another. Damn. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. JavaScript is not smart enough to do proper object constructor whatever validation, or basically can't tell that one function that has it can't tell that functions with the same names are different based on the parameter lists. Which I guess makes sense because JavaScript is not a programming language, it's a scripting language, hence JavaScript. Which is kind of where all the problems with MV come from when you're working in it and have to like make these weird things like weird concessions in coding, like for example having to make sure that you have well, let's see, there's like everything you have everything. Like, everything about how you code in JavaScript is weird. And just like from like var, for example. So, since JavaScript is not a programming language, it has no types. So you use var to like store all this information. And it has types, but they're not real types. Let's put it that way. If it was a real type, you'd say int instead of var. So var is just an object that you're storing data into. And JavaScript has some functions that then look at that data and tell you what type it is, and you can use that to do type checking with, but there are no actual types. It's basically just everything's an object. Or at least most everything is an object. Well, I guess arrays are still objects, but it just leads to so many headaches. Though it is very easy to use, so that's probably why they chose to put it in JavaScript and move away from Ruby. Although I would contest that. I think Ruby, once you actually understand a little bit of the language, is easier to read than JavaScript. Now I take that back. C+ and C#, the new C#. C# and C++ are easier than JavaScript to read, but I think Ruby is a little more esoteric. Anyway, so we need to figure out a way. So I guess we could say that if all this is null, okay, so if wep is not null, and then else if wep. Okay, never mind. We already handled that. I already thought of this and I didn't realize. So if wep is nothing, it's not going to do any of this stuff, which is good. But it will call init members, which will initialize an empty constructor. So we could just call this with no parameters, and it'll be the same as passing through nulls on everything. I mean, just doing it though is like, it irks me as a programmer because you would never do that in an actual programming language. In fact, you wouldn't be allowed to do that. The compiler would basically try and kill you if you tried to do that. It'd reach out from the screen and try and strangle you. But what we'll do here is just that. so on the load, which is not that, that's saved, we want to go back down to the load, which is down here. So we will call this and set it up, and that'll be the act weapon. Now, we need to undo, or basically redo the undoing of what we did up here. So, we basically need to do this in reverse. So where we're creating everything into object literal lists and things like that here, we need to reverse them from that to other things. So this is where we're going to get the crazy list, object and object and object kind of thing going on. Now, here's the thing though, some of them have to remain object lists, so we have to like undo them, but undo them correctly. And that's where it gets really annoying. So let's just go to new game. I will turn on, I do have that turned on add params. Good. I will let that breakpoint hit. Actually, let's get one of these weapons first. Save, overwrite, okay. So I'm going to use the, I want to use this to kind of be able to figure out how to construct this. So traits is actually an array. Actually, let's go to the next one since that's going to have all the stuff in it. So all these are actual, well, durabilities, but all the params are object literals that contain arrays. Traits is an array that contains an object literal, and durability is just an array, and these have object literals that contain arrays. So we need to figure out how to do this right. That's when they're saved. When they're loaded back in, then they're actually all objects. So so we need to process load contents. Okay, so there. And it's the same for the parameters. The parameters are all lists, and the types are also lists of object literals. So we'll need to do those as well. So base params equals whatever. We'll comment these out for now. Var add params. Alright, so var level bonuses equals, so what do we call this? Encode level bonuses, I guess. I'll call it decode. LV bonuses. And we'll pass through the level bonuses thing here. So it's going to be called level bonuses. It's probably down here somewhere, but I don't see it at the moment. Oh, there it is, yeah. So this is on the actor weapons. We'll have to do this for the game party as well, so I'll just comment that out for now. Now, we need to actually build that function. That should be this dot. Okay. Yeah. So those are part of it as well. So, game instance weapon handler dot prototype dot decode. We'll call the other one encode instead of gen. Decode LV bonuses. And it'll pass through bonuses. So again, there, level bonuses. So now on the initial version of it, it is a what? An object. Alright, so we're object. Next we have which is a list. So var dir equals list. So var eparms equals so that should be an object. Var parms equals object, and var sparms is object. Now traits. Traits is traits is an array. It's an array containing objects. Okay. Except that's not the one we want. This one's the one we want. So, yeah, traits is an array, and it contains an array that contains an object. Right, so it's a double, so it's basically a multi-dimensional array that then contains, multiple objects. So, traits is an array, level is an array, the trait itself is still an object. So, yeah, that should be fun. So, still, var traits is an array. Okay, now, if object dot so if there's actual stuff in the bonuses argument that we pass through, then we want to go through it. Object dot keys bonuses dot for each function bonus if bonus. So if bonus is durability, then we need to do another object dot keys bonuses bonus So now, we just have to call dir.push. During, well, let's call it during instead of level. I'm thinking ahead a bit. So durability increase. So, if you look over here, bonuses, durability. So we're going through each one of these and we're pulling out the value. The value, oh yeah, value. So, yeah. Because the dir inc is now a key. So actually, no, that can, never mind. That can be level. I was thinking correctly. I just didn't realize I was thinking correctly. So the key is the level, and then the value is the bonus increase. So we just push that into the dir list. Okay. So, else if bonus equals eparms or eparams. So now this one's a little bit more complicated. So we have low bonuses, durability, that's done. So now we go to eparams. So first of all, the first element in here is going to be the parameter ID. Then inside of that's going to be another object, another set of object literals that will then be the levels and then the values. So this still has to be an object. The level for this is an object. It's like eparms object 6 is the key, and then the value is an array. So eparms, then we have to do object.keys. Bonuses, bonus dot for each function param ID. So now what we do is we say sparms param ID equals another one of these. Then we say object.keys So should the level go in here, or should it go outside of this? So it's going to loop through each time for each level. So bonus is bonus, so bonus is eparams, then an eparams is a thing for each parameter ID, then in that is a level for each increase to that parameter over the level. Yes, because the level will be a no. Yes, no, no. Because, yes, because now we have to do another one down, because this isn't an array yet, it's still an object list. So if we're looking at this, so level bonuses, the first object keys list, or object keys loop goes into here. Gets us to here. The third one, or the first one gets us to here. The second one gets us to here. The third one gets us to here. Oh no, it's 1 to 1. So level to value, level to value, level to value. So yeah, actually, we can do it with just this one. So the level, so we can just say, like we did with the durability, we can just do sparms parameter, then level equals and that should fill it. Those weren't really set up correctly. Okay, there we go. Also, bonus equals params. And we'll just do the exact same thing. Actually, it should be e-params. I don't know why I said s-params. Of course, these are just params on this one, and then we can just copy that down again for and that one's good for s-parms. Now, traits. So, traits need to be an array. The array is the level. The array element is the level. Inside of that array, we have to have another array that then contains the object information. Now, over here, everything's an object. So, the first object keys loop will get us to here. The next one will get us into the level. The next one will get us into the object. So 1, 2, 3. We need 3 loops, basically. The first loop will build an array. The second one will build an array, and the third one will build. We'll put the trait object into the second array, the second level array. So, else if bonus is equals traits. Okay. So, traits. Okay. So we have to do the push after we process things, so that don't need to have anything there. So now we need to go through the first, so this gets us to traits. We need to then go through each level. So object.keys